Hi, Christian. Today I'm really excited to interview you, especially to learn what's your background. And then, I know you are one of the mentors of our cohort. So, before we start, can you please tell me a little bit who is Christian?
Oh, that's a very broad question, but I'm happy to do so. So I am 42 years old and born and raised in Austria. Studied law and economics. Had quite a few very challenging banking and private equity roles over 15 years, and but I'm also already now for 9 years in the digital asset ecosystem. I started 2015, like building the first communities in Austria and setting up the Austrian finance for the Austrian Finance Ministry, actually the FinTech Advisory Board. We spun out of the Digital Asset Association Austria, where I'm still a board member at. I was co-founding two entities in the space. One is as well a venture capital fund called SMAPE Capital, and the other one is called DAIC, Dike, Coinage Dike, which is a validator in the space, so more on the technical infrastructure side of things. And then after I finally decided to end my also interesting, but maybe sometimes a little bit boring banking career, I got the offer to join Blocktrade as their CEO 3.5 years ago. And that's what I did. Completely rebuilt Blocktrade as a centralized exchange, rebuilt the team, made it compliant, created a really interesting product range and strategy. And then we sold it mid last year, and now so towards the end of last year, KuCoin, like one of the top 10 exchanges, asked me, also together with my dear friend Oliver Stauber, who's heading as the CEO of KuCoin Europe, if I would join KuCoin Europe as their COO, so responsible for everything around operations, product, customer service, strategy, and so on and so forth. And that's what I'm doing now, very freshly for the last 3 months. So I'm now the COO of KuCoin Europe, and I'm having very interesting and fun like days and nights around this task. And yeah, that's what I'm doing currently.
Take me back to the day that when you decided to quit your traditional banking career and then jump into digital asset kind of environment. Take me back to the day.
Yeah, this was not a decision like a very like short-handed decision. It was like growing in my mind for like 3 to 4 years, I think. So I was already doing sometimes more like in my free time around digital assets in the last 2 3 years during my banking career, because I this was just what I really loved to do, to look into digital assets, like ventures in this space, invest. I was investing a lot together with others. So yeah, and then like I just waited more or less for the real right opportunity, and it was for me. It was either like I go full time in our fund we were opening up, or into the validator service company, or something new. And then becoming the CEO of a still small but of an exchange was big task, and was also a little bit like as it's also getting more and more regulated, the centralized exchange part of things. It was also closer to banking, let's put it that way. Or it's now, especially over the last 3 to 4 years, it was becoming actually closer and closer to the traditional finance uh, system. So that's why I still like feel very much at home at this intersection of traditional finance and digital assets. That's what I really like, and that's why, yeah, I never regretted it. Yeah.
Like, what's the motivation behind that? Because of the philosophy of the digital assets or like environment? What motivated you?
Yeah, good question. I one of my first jobs in banking was I was the innovation manager of a European bank back in 2012, 2013. And back then I read for the first time about Bitcoin. And I was always at the forefront of anything around fintech. And I knew the traditional banking system is broken, not just from a like a philosophical standpoint or from a monetary standpoint, but especially from a back office process perspective. Yeah. So I always, when I read for the first time more and more about like blockchain, how blockchains work, and that this is a distributed ledger, which will help to ease things or to move assets around. I knew this will disrupt. I was very convinced this will disrupt actually the traditional finance system, and that's why I was so like so sold on it. I mean, I was like on my way as a missionary 2016, 2017, and was really like so convinced that I told everyone and their neighbors about how great blockchain is and Bitcoin and XRP and blah blah. So yeah, so yeah, that was the that was really the. I was always very convinced that this will be a new financial back office and philosophically also new monetary system coming in. Yeah.
I believe you are really early in this ecosystem, and I know still a lot of crypto founders or like blockchain founders, digital asset founders, they still have a lot of pushback when they try to onboard new client, new people. Like based on your experience, what's the takeaway that you can share?
You mean in regards to pushback? And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
There was a lot,
I
right?
I think it got better the last 2 3 years. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I also think there are now more the people who are interacting with you from a banking or service level perspective. They are more educated about blockchain, about digital assets, so you can talk to a lot of them in on a different level. Yeah, like between 3 and 5 years ago, it was still very much different. I think to now, so I think it's getting better. Um, but I mean, yeah, for sure, there is still pushback from people who just did not read up properly. One of the examples is I was just talking to a very big bank a few weeks ago, and they were telling me, at some point, it's a reputational risk for us to onboard you, and they were trying to tell me, and we are so big, we made 1 billion of profit um, last year, and then I told them uh, in how big KuCoin is with 40 million people, and that most probably KuCoin made much more profits than the bank, and so they they just didn't know that, or they just didn't consider that also inside the digital asset ecosystem there could be really large and profitable companies managed well. So this I think this can also, like, it's a lot about education, yeah, to like calm down the pushback with facts, best with facts, yeah, and be prepared to calm down people who want to push you back with facts. Yeah, yeah.
What's your selling pitch to onboard new players in the ecosystem? Do you have a script? Do you have like some tips and tricks?
Yeah, I like um for me it's like if people see or saw the conviction I have for the topic, this was enough already for a lot of people to read more, and I mean, for me, my best selling point now is I told you so. I told you so 6 7 8 years ago, and and I still tell you so. So you better listen now, or regret forever. But like, yeah, and then it's still like it has to come with facts, like especially with banks and other and more institutional partners, always facts like that. exchanges and other partners are now very much regulated. You have to screen all transactions. So a lot of pushback still comes when it comes to like there are so many fraudsters and illegal things happening. You can say, okay, yeah, there is a gray zone, like with cash as well, and with other elements, economic elements. But with digital assets, everything is very transparent normally, yeah, and everything is very much reconcilable and very much stoppable, like even better than with any bank or with any traditional banking system. So transaction monitoring, AML5 directive. So all the anti-money laundering topics are much more and better integrated. And I can say this with like based on facts than in traditional banks. I'm very much sure about that. Yeah. So very much sure about that. Yeah.
And talking about the mentorship, right? Like in this cohort, you are one of the mentors. Give me some scoops. What kind of things you are planning to bring on the table? But just a little bit, okay? Don't say,
Yeah, like it can be a lot. It really depends on the needs of the founders, the companies. On the one hand, I I know from the venture capital fund I co-created with a few others, like a lot about pre-seed, seed, so very early stage companies, their struggles, yeah, and can detect, I think, very early what they are missing in the team, what they are missing from a setup perspective or from a strategic perspective, most likely. So this is one element. Then I think where I also can add a lot of value is in terms of fundraising, what to do right, what to do wrong, in terms of like business model planning, business model strategy. I think there's a lot I can add. Yeah, I think that's around this. I think I can these elements. I think I can add enough. I mean, I also have a lot of experience on tokenomics, on financial planning. If someone, I mean, you sometimes have just one or two weaker links in a founder team, and it's all about identifying them, identifying how necessary these elements are for the success of the team, for the success of the project, and then trying to eliminate them or add value from outside or from people you can bring to the team. Yeah, and yeah, be my guest. There's a lot I can contribute. Yeah.
But what drives you, if you can choose? I know, like, if I am the founder and then you are my mentor, I will have 1,000 things. I wish I can just have you for the whole day, right?
Yeah.
But like, what drives you? What do you want to bring on the table the most, like, for insight?
Like, I mean, like I have worked with some really fantastic founders over the last few years. And what I really love is if you can see the mix of fantastic founders with a lot of drive and like special product expertise. And they really what I really like the most with where I think teams are the most successful is the combination of the right product market fit with the right technical know-how around it and the capacity to sell, not just from a fundraising perspective, but also from a go-to-market perspective. And so if I see this combination, I'm all in. I can help us a lot. There are a few teams I accompanied. And on the other hand, when I see some of these elements are missing, then I think I can tell it straight away and tell the teams what's missing. I think, yeah. And what drives me, I think, innovation, innovative new topics, elements, which haven't been discussed for ages, and it's just maybe another like something done in a different way, which has been done like 100 times. That's probably not what excites me, other than there's like really exceptional founders and they add a new spin which really adds value. But other than, I think I just what drives me is to meet new exceptional people with innovative ideas and a lot of drive. I like people who have drive as well, yeah. And then this also drives me.
I believe you are not like the first day CEO, first day founders. Like, what would you wish back then somebody would have told you when you started building your own venture back then?
Yes, very good question. So I think always you have to be very positive, but you always have to prepare for like bad times, like bad times in terms of like despite you think you can raise quickly money or like implement the product in a fast way, you have to plan also conservatively from a product go to market perspective, but also from a financial perspective. It's very important to always plan way ahead. Yeah, never be short on time for the next funding. Never be short on time. That the product development takes longer than you might think. So this needs to be just like thought through. Yeah, and so this would be something and I also messed up like product timetables and funding timetables. Like I think this has happened to almost every founder or executive in the space. And but this is something. Then I also made quite a few mishirings. Like I hired too fast sometimes and fired too slow. This is also something where I would encourage founders, especially also, even if it's hard because you have to do so much for yourself, like really search for the right at the very beginning, really take your time to search for the right partners or people. Yeah, because the first few people, this needs to be really a red pack. Yeah, to be successful, everyone needs the drive, needs the know-how, needs the understanding what should be built. And if you only have like in an early team of 4 to 8 people, if you have one like weak link, it's too much already. Yeah, you need like everyone needs to like. I'm not saying like work all around the clock, but like you need some dedication. Yeah, and know-how and like same understanding of the product and of the things around the product and the group. You don't need just you need to eliminate negative people like from a drive perspective.
Yeah, I totally get you. Like, I still remember in the early stage of my career, I also made a lot of mishiring. Like you said, like you hire very quick because of the big name. And then, over the time, you realize this person is not operationally capable. And then you fire late. So yeah, I think hiring in the beginning for startups is like running a cult, right? You need to be like a priest. Like you say, you are like a priest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is really important. And during those period of time you just mentioned, the hard time, did you have any mentors in your life?
Yes, I had a few mentors, especially earlier in my career. And yeah, how should I put this? Like I don't think that the classical mentorship for me was like probably not the right thing. Why? Because I'm not saying I outsmarted my mentors, but I like where the advice or feedback I got was sometimes already old advice or feedback when I got it, or like within a very short time. So um, this is like I think like the classical mentorship needs to be more flexible. Yeah, like I'm also not shy to have younger people as mentors for me. I mean, like I have now a direct report, my head of operations. He's like 10 times better than me with AI tools. Yeah, and so I think he can be a mentor for me in terms of AI tools. It doesn't have to be someone much more senior from a career level perspective. Yeah. So I think you need to pick and choose the right elements from a mentorship perspective. Yeah. And yeah, this is like, it's also not the linear path anymore from a mentorship perspective, I think, in the future or right now.
Yeah, what I've seen, like so many mentors in this cohort right now, I observe a pattern. It's like all the mentors already had an early, how should I say, somebody helped them before. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be having so much of the passion, so much of the love to share the knowledge that you have, because I think that takes a lot of appreciation as well in your past. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, but no, definitely, yeah. No, definitely, yeah. I mean, the thing is also, you know, like I think I'm very passionate and I have a lot of drive, and it's also very hard to find like similar people or people like it's very hard to find people who inspire you, like on all levels, like where you could say, wow, I want this person to be my mentor. It's like more like as I said, from a pick and choose perspective. Wow, I really think this person could help me with that or with that, or like I really think this is an area, being it for example sales or like how things are done, where you can like grab some of the know-how or some of the some inspiration from other people. But I don't think that you need to have like just only one or two role models from a mentor perspective. Yeah, that's a bit probably outdated to define mentorship. Let's put it this way. Yeah.
Not just like by looking back in my life, I just figure like every single person I go to has different domain expertise, right? So sometimes it's more emotional, sometimes it's more like, you know, philosophical, can come from different kind of way. So I totally agree with you. The traditional mentorship is already like kind of, we need to rethink about it. And I'm really, really happy that you are in this cohort. And thank you for your time for this interview as well. And I believe all the startups are so excited to meet you.
No, thank you. No, my pleasure. Happy to be part of it. Yeah.